Okay, so this is audio log 0. I'm recording this on February 6th, 2026. And I just wanted to record this and I more so just wanted to talk about the stuff that I have implemented thus far. Um, and I wanted to share my ideas for stuff that I want to include in the future that hasn't been added yet, um, but will be very soon, hopefully. Um, and Yeah, so I'll just begin by going through the core rule book and showing just kind of how it's set up. So you can see the legend here, of course. It's split up into 8 sections. Of course, most of these sections are unfinished. Chase, driving, these tables aren't here. These rules need to be updated. Elevation, difficult terrain, that kind of stuff hasn't been added yet, but it will be. And of course, these are very, very basic right now. There's only like 2 or 3 weapons in the game uh, right now, and they are not in the base rulebook that's been published before this one. So sorry, guys. Yeah, I I'll go through just the first couple bits that I do have, and then I'll go over some ideas as well as they come up. Um, so yeah, of course, this is version. I actually haven't updated the name. This is actually version 0.1 alpha point 1, and yeah, so we're gonna go over. Just section by section, what I have so far, and yeah, any ideas that come up. So, first off, the core dice rules. I think this is the most important thing to bring up. This is like how the whole thing works. So the whole game is based on a D12 system, where you also add your traits and your modifiers from your your gear, your armor, that kind of thing, or situational modifiers as well. So the way it's set up right now, it's kind of like a coin flip where if you roll a 1 to a 6, that's a fail, and if you roll a 7 to a 12 or over, that's a success. If you roll a 1, that is a complete fumble. Like, you fail and you're also penalized. That can be rolled on a table that I will eventually implement, or it can also be chosen situationally by your GM. And then a 2 to 6, that's just a normal fail. You just don't pass the check. And then your regular success is a 7 or to a 9. That's just a normal success. You pass, and that's about it. Hard success, and I stole this name from Call of Cthulhu, is a 10 to 11. You pass the skill check with advantage, and that's rolled on a table as well, or chosen by your GM situationally. And then if you roll a 12 or over, and that can, of course, result by rolling like a 12 and then having a +2 modifier, that will give you a critical success. Um, so you pass the skill check with advantage, uh, with the same rules as before. And you also can add any one extra trait to your next roll. So that means basically, when you roll to attack your next turn, you're going to roll your d12. You're going to add your trait, you're going to add your gear and your tag modifiers, and then you're going to add an extra trait on top of that. Um, so that's the core rules there. And then we'll also get a bit more into combat after we go into character creation. That's, I believe, section 4 in here. Yeah, section 4. So section 3 is all about character creation. So it goes over your main 4 stats and how to assign them. You, of course, have your 4 stats: might, agility, resolve, and cunning. And you start your character sheet with 0 in all your stats, and you can assign either, or sorry, you can assign a +1, a +2, and a -1 to your stats, and then the remaining stat just stays at 0. And here we have an example of a human character. So he has, probably a pretty average amount of strength. So he's at might 0. His agility might not be the greatest. He's at -1. Resolve, he is human after all. So, his brain is probably pretty sharp. So he has +1. And then +2 in cunning, of course. He has that sharp brain that can, outwit some of the other people in the world. So, but yeah, that's just an example. And if you are playing a human character, you can assign your stats however you want. Um, but uh, there are other races that you can choose from. There are 12 total in the core rule book, and I do have plans to expand this as well and maybe add other races in an expansion, maybe. Um, but as it stands right now, I don't really want to go above or below 12. I feel like it's a good baseline. Like uh, it's a solid number, you know. I think it fits, you know. I don't really want to overwhelm people with too much choice, especially because there are sub races as well that I will go into, maybe in a future log. But as it stands right now, there's only 12, and each race will have about ranging from 1 to about 6 different subraces. Um, with dogs being the most varied, of course, because I like dogs and they're funny. Um, another one that has a lot of variation I should mention is bird people are very diverse. Same with fish and lizards. They're all very diverse as well. Um, and another thing that I should mention is I'll bring it up here. This is um, I don't want to show that yet. That's enemy races. But this is a compatibility chart for offspring between the different races. So this uh, C indicates that they are compatible, and the in means incompatible. So you can see, like, of course, around here, the more humanoid races are compatible with each other, whereas the more you go into the more weird, kind of crazy races, they usually can only really breed within their own races and subraces. However, I do want to mention that lizard people and bird people, I haven't actually added this yet, but I was talking to my biologist friend Isaiah, and he gave me the idea of lizards and birds being being having viable offspring and being compatible with each other because their DNA in real life is actually very similar to each other. So I thought that was really interesting. So I decided to add that into the game. I just forgot to add it here, but you can play as different hybrid races, and I can show them. I believe I have them here. Yes, I do. So these are all the ideas I have for sub races. You can see the hybrids I have here. There's human dwarf hybrids, orc dwarves. There's also half orcs with orcs and goblins. Um, there are hobgoblins or more mountainous goblins that live more with like the orc dwarf hybrid people, you know? There's like different kinds of dog breeds. I specifically wanted these in here because of my two dogs, Winston and Ruby. I love them so much, and I wanted to put them into the game. And then, of course, I wanted to add like a few other like farm animals, so I didn't really know like where to put them under, so I put them under like boar people. But I know that they're kind of like not really related. And then I changed the name for lizards actually to reptilian, and I added lizards as a subrace. You can also play as chameleons, geckos, could be a croc or an alligator, turtle or a snake. You can be a frog, eel, or a shark. You can be a bunch of different kinds of bugs, birds, and plant people. I wrote cacti here separately, but the main plant people are actually cacti. So I am gonna get rid of that actually. But you can play as mushroom, like fungi. I know they're not plants, but they're under here anyway. You can play as trees, moss, people, or you can also play as root people, or you can play as like root vegetables. It's like one thing I thought was kind of funny was like I was trying to think of like because at one point in time the plant people reproduce asexually because I was not really that informed about plant sex, unlike Isaiah, who is a biochemist. So um, he suggested that I add like potato people because they technically reproduce asexually. And I was like, yeah, that would be really funny actually. Like, yeah, that would be awesome. Like, and then he said, or you don't have to limit it to just potatoes. You could also just make root people, and then you can play as any root vegetable you want. And I said that would be so awesome because then I could play as my original character, Berthold the beetroot. And anyway, now you can play as vegetable people, and I think it's pretty funny. So yeah, you can choose during character creation your race or your sub race. Each race gives a different range of racial buffs and debuffs, and when you do create your character, you select two buffs and one debuff from the pool. And you can see here, usually there's about three uh, or four buffs, and for debuffs, there's usually about two or three for you to choose from. And depending on your subrace, um, you may be infertile, so you may have to take two buffs and two debuffs instead, because you are more prone to mutation. because you're a freak of nature. And so there's also occupational traits. You can choose five, no more, no less, during character creation. And these are all just tied to your occupation and other things you might learn uh, on the job. And of course, there's here some examples as well. None of them are up to date. These only have four because it used to be that you would only select four traits, and then I changed it so that you select five instead. Um, and then other traits, these actually aren't in the core rulebook yet, but I'll find them. They are just under here. Um, Here they are. So yeah, and this one is a copy that I need to get rid of. But you can see here that there's like other ones that aren't really related to your occupation, but they are more of more so traits that you gain from experience or um in your day-to-day kind of thing, or like through your progress um through the story, or as a character kind of thing. So um you can spend points that are given out at certain milestones, and those are decided either by your GM or whatever you decide to use to allot them to people. But each trait has a different price, and when you do get a trait point, you don't have to spend it right away. However, you can only spend them when you are resting. And another thing I should mention is you can only have up to 12 other traits on your character sheet. So you can have three racial traits, four if you're a fucked up weirdo. You can have five occupational traits, and you can have 12 other traits. Um, and you start with 10 trait points that you can allot to your character sheet during character creation. Um, and you can see all the prices here, of course. And yeah, so that's about it for character creation. And I guess there's also like add your characteristics. You can add your name, player name, age, pronouns, occupation, residence, and then there's also room on your character sheet for different notes and conditions. And those will come up either during the game or if you really feel like it, you can mutate your character even during character creation. It's pretty fun. So yeah, and then here you can of course see I haven't had these tables yet, but they will be there eventually. And then combat rules here you can see. Um, Each combat is divided into rounds, and each round represents about 10 seconds. Initiative is rolled. I don't know why it says 2d6 here. It's probably because it used to be that. It will be 1d12 actually. Each side rolls 1d12 plus their trait and tags, and the side with the higher result acts first. And basically, it works the same way as initiative in like any other RPG, where each each player goes based on their order. So uh, let's see here. Yeah, initiative order doesn't change unless one side disengages entirely, a new faction enters the fight, or the GM declares the situation has fundamentally shifted. Um, so during your turn, specifically, you can take one major, one minor action, and you can take one reaction. And unused actions do not stack, they don't carry over to your next turn. If you don't use it and you end your turn, too bad, it's used up. Sorry. Um, so your major actions, include like melee or ranged attacks, spell casting, um, grappling, performing combat maneuvers, or called shots, which I may discuss in a bit. Minor actions, you can move. This is actually wrong. You roll 1d6 for movement, and your result respond or oh my goodness, sorry. I'm word salad. Your results indicates the amount of spaces that you can move. So you roll 1d6. Uh, and you can also draw, stow, or swap equipment. You can defend, which gives you a +1 to your next defense reaction. Or you could stabilize a dying creature, but you can only give basic aid. Um, and examples of reactions are blocking, dodging, parrying, opportunity strike, or catching a falling ally or object. You only get one reaction per round, and they refresh at the start of your next turn. So, for example, if you used up your reaction during your turn, and then an enemy came and attacked you, you wouldn't have a reaction anymore. It wouldn't refresh until your next turn. And so you wouldn't be able to block or dodge or parry that turn. So you would have to eat the damage basically. Movement takes place on a square grid where one square is equal to about 1.5 meters or 5 feet. And diagonals count as one square because math is hard. And verticality is also handled with levels of elevation. Standard movement, again, roll 1d6. This is wrong. And you may also split up movement before and after your major action. That's very important, I think, to mention. Um, Difficult terrain. This again is wrong. I will update all of this eventually. And here's just uh, a little infographic about the combat loop, just going over how to go through everything. But I think I already did that pretty good. And yeah, of course, you can see here all of the tables and everything are um, empty. But they'll be added soon. But yeah, those are basically all the ideas I wanted to share. Um, at least everything that I feel like I'm allowed to share right now. Um, I will definitely be recording more of these audio logs in the future. Also, look forward to other change logs and announcements on my GitHub. I'll link it on the description in the YouTube video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed looking at this. If you have any ideas, let me know. If uh, you are interested in alpha testing, we are looking for alpha testers. You can email me. I'll also put my email in the description as well. Um, Yeah, so thank you so much. I will cease my incessant rambling. All right, bye.